Never miss an episode of Create, Build, and Manage Daily again. Subscribe to our podcast and listen on the go.
Tax problems come in many forms, such as IRS audits, unfiled business taxes, and even mistakes made by the IRS. Jackie Holland is the president and founder of Business Essential Tax Service and joins me via Zoom tonight. Jackie, welcome to the show.
Hi.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Most people hate dealing with taxes, but you've been helping people for over 20 years. What do you enjoy most about your work?
I think the most rewarding about my job is educating my clients and making them aware of their rights and responsibilities as a taxpayer and preparing them for the next year.
And that changes all the time, Jackie. Like, I like to read business news, and it seems like I see articles. Even this morning, I was reading an article about how the child tax credit wasn't what it was the year before. So how do you keep on top of that? Are you just constantly having to educate yourself?
Absolutely, every day. It's not just tax season during, the tax time. Most people are from January through April. A true tax professional, it's a year-round, 24/7 kind of a job, because your clients come in all shapes and sizes with different issues and different situations. So yes, it's an ongoing, continually educating yourself as a professional so that you can share that knowledge and that experience with your clients to get them in a better place or whatever situation that they may be dealing with at that time.
Do you ever have relief when Congress gets out of session, knowing they're not going to pass some new tax law, because it is constant, right? Now, the other thing, and you mentioned about go ahead, sorry.
No, so it's always exciting because we don't even actually get our books for the year until after January. Well, hopefully we would like to get them before the end of December, but most likely they don't happen until January. So anything can happen, and that's kind of really hard to gauge, but that's what we're here for.
That's awesome. And you talked about educating your clients. So how important is communication and transparency with them as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, your accountant or your CPA should be just like your doctor. Be very transparent with, people go through divorce, people get married, people sell their businesses, partners fall out in a business. So there's all types of different scenarios that can happen to an individual or a family. And, for every situation, there is a resolution. But I always tell people, do not avoid or ignore the IRS. Much better to communicate with them directly and try to figure out a resolution or the best resolution possible depending on the situation.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. The government's always going to get their money. There's no ignoring the IRS. So what are the common reasons people get in trouble with the IRS? Is it a mistake when they file their paperwork, or are there other reasons why people find themselves even in trouble with the IRS?
There are several, but some very common factors are for people that get W-2s or from your employer. What they do is they fail to correctly complete their tax paperwork when they got their job. So maybe they didn't put enough dependents, or maybe they put too many dependents. And at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, if you said that you had 3 dependents and it's only you by yourself, they didn't take out as much tax as they thought they should have. Another scenario would be a lot of people like to kind of get, life happens. They pull out of their 401 or 401k or 403b, any of the retirement plans, and they fail to withhold a tax. So on top of you getting penalized, obviously, for withdrawing early, you're also going to be penalized for the taxes. So at the end of the year, your $30,000 that you took out, or $10,000, whatever it may be, it's going to have to be taxed. So, if you didn't pull the withholding when you pulled it out, you're going to have to pay for it at the end of the year.
I'm going to put your website up for those who are watching tonight on BizTV. It is businessessentialstaxservice.com. That website again is businessessentialstaxservice.com. For people who do find themselves in trouble, are there some practical tips or things you can offer on how to avoid penalties, or even worse, avoid jail time?
Well, I would definitely say have a good relationship, have an open door policy with my clients throughout the year. If you're not sure of something, if you're going to be buying a house, if you're going to be selling a house, any major life milestone, check in with your CPA, check in with your accountant. And my door is always open, email, telephone. Things happen in life. So I believe in an open door, have a good relationship with your accountant, your CPA, keep that going throughout the year, not just during tax season, and it can help avoid a lot of problems at the end.
Makes sense. Now, we are in December, mid-December, and tip the average consumer. Now, the business owner, they're doing taxes every quarter. The contractor's doing taxes every quarter, but the average tax person, we think about it in April. What are some things we can do before December 31st? Maybe it's giving to a charity. Just what are some practical things we can do today that's going to make tax season a little bit better for us in April?
Well, like you said, contributions are good. There's only a certain amount if you're not going to itemize, but it's still everything counts. Also, if you have a business, make sure that you do your end of the year purchases. If you need that new computer, you need that new equipment, put it in now before the end so that you could write it off at the end of the year. Also, for individuals, get all of your investments, all of your end of the year tax statements and documents, kind of start putting those together, make a list. The mortgage, do you have any investments, student loans, all those things that you pay at the end, throughout the year, put it all together and have that ready for your tax person or your accountant so that they can get all the deductions and credits for you as much as they possibly can.
What about the opposite? I mean, do you ever have a case where you're talking to one of your clients and let's say they're thinking about selling some investment dollars? Is there a case to be made to waiting to January so you have a full 12 months to pay the taxes on that versus doing a decision like that within the final 2 weeks of the year?
It depends. Like I was saying earlier, everybody's situation is different. So depending on what kind of income you've already earned for the year, you may want to wait until January 1. Like you said, I've had a few clients that are into real estate and they're into buying and selling and repurchasing, and they do a lot of flips. So she bought two, and she's like, well, should I sell? I would, you did really well this year. You may want to hold off until January 1 because you don't know what the new year is going to bring. We already know what happened in 2022, and you're in a good spot. If you bring in any more money, there's probably a high probability you're going to have to pay taxes or more taxes.
All the more reason to have
advised her, wait.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Jackie, all the more reason to have a relationship, like you said, with your CPA, and your website is businessessentialstaxservice.com.